Let's talk about concealed carries. Let's go. What's up, guys? Joe here of ScruffyArms.com and the Scruffy fam. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell notification. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and get our message out there. Sorry I've been late with a lot of these videos, guys. I've been sick lately, so as you can probably tell, I'm getting over it. But we're going to get back into this, and today what I wanted to do was talk about some options for concealed carry. The weather really sucks outside. I think today we're getting a high of 4. And there's been a lot of snow, and a lot of people are messaging me or asking me questions about my recommendations of firearms. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd take a minute here to talk about some of the different classes of concealed carry that you can possibly get. I just went through this process with my own father, so I can give recommendations based on your comfort level with firearms, and also with what's easy to use and what's not. So what this all started with was when my dad moved here. He brought with him his Smith & Wesson Model 60 and 38 Special. This is a beautiful little revolver. It is small, okay? This is an 1.5-inch barrel. Very, very small 5-shot revolver. Gorgeous revolver, okay? And when he brought that, there were some concerns that he had, was that it hurt his hand when he was shooting, and it was really, really hard to be accurate with it. And if you're gonna have a self-defense firearm, you need to be accurate with it. You need to be able to practice, you need to be able to be accurate, you need to be able to be comfortable, and you can't hate shooting it, okay? And that's what he really ran into. Where he lived in Phoenix wasn't the best of neighborhoods, and he didn't feel safe in his home without some type of firearm self-defense. So he purchased this 38 Special from a friend, and it had been in their family since it was purchased. So it has always been under, it's had 2 owners, and just a very, very well taken care of firearm. So it works, okay? And one of the things with revolvers is they work, okay? They are extremely reliable. They're not overly complicated. You point, pull the trigger, goes boom. But there are some drawbacks, okay? So let's talk about some of the drawbacks here. The first thing I want to bring your attention to is the barrel length. This is a very, very short barrel length. This is an 1.5-inch barrel, not very long. Okay, the second thing I want to point your attention to is you get 5 rounds of 38 Special. Okay, so that's one. Barrel length, capacity, and then trigger pull. Now, I'm not going to go through the full trigger pull. I don't want to dry fire this, but this is me pulling. I'm controlling the hammer because I don't want it to fall all the way back until it falls. Okay, now if you're at the range shooting, you can pull this back, and then it's a much lighter pull. But if you're sitting here, pull, 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 it's a very, very heavy pull, okay? And that is one of the things that people dislike about revolvers, is the heavy pull, that they're not getting that good, gentle squeeze back pull on it. It's a very, very heavy, heavy trigger. So all of that led us to think about, okay, at my dad's age, with his familiarity with firearms, what should we get him? And we looked at all the options. So the first thing I did was I had him look at my firearm, okay? I've got a Canik TP9 Combat Elite Executive, all that gee whiz. Basically, it's a Canik TP9, okay? This is a full-size firearm. When he put it in his hand, he really liked the way that it felt in his hand. He really, really liked the trigger on it. Beautiful trigger. If you guys haven't been around a Canik yet, you really don't know what you're missing. But what he didn't like was it was heavy, okay? He didn't like how heavy it was. So we then tried my wife's Palmetto State Armory dagger. Tried that. And he liked the feel of that. So it's a Glock clone. He liked the feel. It was comfortable in his hand. But he couldn't pull the slide back. So pulling the slide back is this, right? Being able to pull the slide back. And a lot of people, when they're new to pistols, and they don't understand what that does have a hard time with it. There's slide serrations. You can see on mine here, there's slide serrations at the front and the back. That allows you to grab back there to pull back, or grab up here to pull back. You can do either. When they've got it up here, that's usually because you're running a red dot and you don't want to come across. Another way is you can bring your hand over the top and do this push-pull method, or same thing back here. You've got a lot of different ways that you can do that, but if you've got weak hands or arthritic hands, that can be very, very uncomfortable, okay? This is also a full-size pistol. If you compare these two things, okay, significantly bigger. Also, the capacity of this, I think I'm at, let's see, 18 rounds of 9mm carry ammo, 5 rounds of 38 special carry ammo, right? So he liked what the 9mm was going to offer. He also liked the fit of the pistol better. What he didn't like was the pull of the slide. So we actually went and got him this Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9 EZ, and the billing for this is that it is a super light pull-out. Every time I do that, I get surprised on how light that is of a pullback. Okay, so that's what he wanted. He wanted something like that was going to be easy to pull back and a little bit smaller. Okay, he didn't want that full-size frame. Now, if we put these next to each other, you'll notice overall there isn't a huge difference. In the overall size, but you are getting a longer barrel. You're getting an 8+1 capacity magazine. The other thing he wanted was the safety. I don't know if you guys can see the safety there. There you go. He wanted the safety there. There's also a palm swell safety. He wanted those features on it, and he didn't really care about a red dot. We are going to get him a light to put on here. And he liked how light this was. Okay, so those were the considerations that we went into when we came to look at this for him. And just as a side note, something that I think that is really, really neat that Smith & Wesson, they went all the way on this EZ. Even the magazines, anybody that spent time loading magazines will appreciate anytime you just pull this down and slide. This is ridiculous how easy this is, okay? And my dad really, really enjoys having something of that ease. So when we talk about concealed carry and we start looking at it, for him, those were some of the considerations we went into. But let's really take a look here real quick and talk about what the pluses and minuses are of each of these platforms, okay? And what I want to start with is the revolver, okay? It is the classic. It has been on the scene the longest. When I was growing up, a lot of people said, if you want a reliable firearm, you get a revolver. And that is true. I'm not going to fault that. There are less moving parts, less chances of bullets getting hung up than there is in a semi-automatic pistol. I'm not going to argue that. But the drawbacks that you get is a very short barrel, magazine capacity, reloading, and trigger. The trigger on this is extremely heavy, okay? It's very, very heavy. The heavier the trigger, the harder it is to be accurate. The shorter the barrel, the harder it is to be accurate. And we've only got 5 rounds. You need to make sure that every round counts. Inside of 10 yards, you can be accurate, but it's very, very difficult. Also, your sights on this are a groove cut in the top with a little dovetail at the end. 1980s, man. Also, the grip that you get on this, the way that you hold these, you don't always get a good pinky, and there's not a good spot to put your hands. When you shoot a revolver, you shoot it differently than you do a pistol, okay? My uncle is a very big revolver aficionado, goes to actual revolver courses, and he loves these things. My first carry was, as I said, was a Smith & Wesson Model 60 357. I got that as my first conceal carry because of how reliable they were. After that, I upgraded and used other things, but that was my very first. There are some advantages to this. One, this is small, very, very small. You can put this in a pocket. You can put this appendix carry, ankle carry, shoulder carry. These things are so easy to conceal. It's very small, very easy to conceal. I have considered just using this as like a backup conceal carry if I'm running somewhere real quick and I don't feel like grabbing my big full-size gun, of just grabbing this and going with it. I have considered that. Okay. The other thing that this has going for it is it's going to work, right? When you pull that trigger, it's going to go boom. That is great. And then it's going to go boom afterwards and boom afterwards and boom afterwards. I can say that I fired some semi-automatic pistols where it goes boom and then click and then you go, uh-oh. That's a thing, okay? The downsides to this are reloading, accuracy, capacity, the trigger. I mean, those are big deals, okay? So that's something to consider. If you just think, hey, I want this for concealed carry, I'm gonna go to the range, 10 feet is all that I need, by all means, get a revolver. Next, we've got this Easy, and this Easy is a micro 9, so it's a little bit smaller. It's got a single stack 8-round magazine, but it's got 8 rounds compared to the 5. You get 3 more rounds of 9mm. It's a semi-automatic. The trigger on this, I mean, guys, the trigger on this is, I'll do it on this side if I can. The trigger, so much better. So much better. It is a great trigger. So there's a little creep. Oop, gotta hold the palm swell in. So there's a little creep, but then you hit the wall, and it breaks. It's not bad. It is not bad at all, okay? Very nice trigger. You're getting a longer barrel, more magazine capacity. It's a little bit heavier, which will handle the recoil a lot better, and you get a much better form, fit, and function holding this than you do the revolver, okay? It's also got better sights. You guys can see the fiber optic sights on there. Better sights, okay? This is also easy to conceal. You can do appendix carry, hip carry, shoulder carry, all of those with this, no problem. Some of the drawbacks to this is you get a single stack, 8-round magazine. This does have several safeties on it. You've got the palm safety and the thumb safety. You need to be really good at understanding to take those safeties off before you shoot. So there's a lot of practicing that needs to happen. If you're gonna get something like this, you need to practice so that you can draw, take the safety off, and pull the trigger when you need to. Okay, so those are all considerations to go with something like this. But 8 rounds, 9mm, longer barrel, very accurate, better trigger, and it's easy to conceal. It's still a very easy to conceal. Then last, we have a full size, okay? There are a ton of upsides when it comes to shootability to a full size, okay? The weight, the balance, the capacity, the accuracy, all of those things you're gonna get with a full size pistol, okay? I have been ridiculously accurate with this thing out to 50 yards with no problem, with iron sights or red dots. If you notice, I'm running irons right now. Just the way that I've been carrying lately, I prefer to have the iron sights instead of the red dot. It's just a thing. I really do enjoy that. Some of the drawbacks, and I would say the biggest drawbacks to this is heavy. Even if I take the light off of here, it's still heavy. This does not conceal easily, okay? Honestly, if I appendix carry with this, I kind of print. If I back hip carry, I kind of print. If I shoulder carry, I kind of print. There's no way for me to carry this thing in the summer without printing. In the winter, like right now, we've got so many layers, I can hip carry this outside the waist and no one sees it. When I carry this inside the waistband, it's still pretty big. It does print. If I carry this appendix carry, it's not comfortable. A full-size pistol is very, very hard to conceal because of how big it is. But the benefits that this gives you is I can carry 18 plus 1. So it's 19 rounds of 9mm carry ammo that I can get out of a full size. Now I have other ways that I conceal carry this. I do have a conceal carry fanny pack, which a lot of the times this will go in that, and then I'll put it across my chest, and that tends to work really, really well. But if I don't want to carry that, then I have to look at some other options. Now, when my wife was looking for a concealed carry or her own pistol for home defense, and it's primarily home defense, not very often does she carry, we got her a full-size pistol, okay? And the reason we got her the full-size pistol was that the primary purpose of it was home defense. So being able to have something that was accurate, had a high magazine capacity, and you could put a red dot and a light on was something that was more important to us than concealability, okay? So because of that, we got her a full size, and we got her the Palmetto State Armory Dagger, full size, okay? And that is hers. We did that, again, because of what its primary purpose was. But if you were going to go with something concealed, even when you put this pistol against this pistol, you can see the difference between a full size, the full size, and the not full size, okay? My full size is much bigger and takes up more space. So, guys, when we look at all of these different types of options for concealed carry, when people ask me, hey, I want to get a concealed carry, what do you think of this, or this, or the firearm? It really comes down to, are you getting a revolver, are you getting a micro, or are you getting a full size? Insert caliber in there, but are you getting a revolver, a micro, or a full size? And when you look at it that way, you can really start to make that choice for yourself and your situation, okay? I work with firearms all the time, all day long. That's what I do. I have a lot of people coming to my home for firearm fixes and not. I choose to have something that has a higher capacity and modularity. I carry this on my waist, outside the waistband at my home anytime my gunsmith business is open, because I want people to see it, and it's big, okay? When I'm trying to conceal carry, this is usually in a fanny pack in front of me across my chest like this. This time of year in the winter, I can have it inside the waistband on my back hip. It's not comfortable to carry appendix style. I actually have carried this appendix style, and you don't even know it's there. It is so small, it conceals very easily, and I have no concern about this going off in my pocket, okay? This is a very, very good option for that. This as well, with all of the safety features that this has between the palm and this safe, this is a great appendix carry or hip carry. Great option. Very, very great option. So even here in my home, we've had those conversations of, are you going to conceal carry? Are you going to home carry? What are you looking for? And you can see that we've got 3 different options here at our home. Not everybody has those. So it may surprise you to hear me say that if you are in the market for a firearm, you don't have a lot of experience with firearms, but you want to learn and you want to grow, I would probably recommend that you get something like this M&P Shield 2.0 EZ. It's easy to pull the slide back. It's got safeties on it, so you're not going to hurt yourself. It's got a decent trigger. 8 rounds is an okay capacity. It's not a full size, so it's going to be easier to conceal. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit easier to handle. And Smith & Wesson holds their value. So if you wanted to upgrade later from this to something else, you could without any problem. And you're not going to break the bank with something like this. They're extremely affordable. If you like the classics and you say, I don't want any muss and fuss, I don't want to mess around with a slide, I don't need that many rounds anyways, and I'm more concerned about conceal carry than I am about capacity, it's all day long, the revolver, okay? I can't argue this. I myself have carried these before, and I think that they're great for your everyday carry, conceal carry, super easy. I know some people that will keep their full-size 9 for home defense, and they will carry a small revolver for their everyday carry. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I know some people who only carry a smaller frame 9mm as both their home defense and their concealed carry. So when we take all of those things into consideration, guys, there's really never an easy answer to tell somebody when they want to talk about concealed carry what to do. It matters for your situation and your circumstances. Personally, I prefer a full size, more capacity, better accuracy, but I can also put the argument forth for a smaller frame pistol or a revolver. I think that all of these hold a very, very good place. I think all of them exist for a very good reason. And if you guys have different ideas or different options when it comes to concealed carry, what is it that you use? What are some of your everyday carries? What do you like and what do you dislike about each of these? Full-size firearms, or full-size pistols, micro pistols, and revolvers. What do you think? What do you think is the best for concealed carry and why? I love to have these conversations. Let's enter into that conversation. Let's be respectful of each other and share our own experiences. I personally have carried all three, so I can talk about how they feel, how they function, and how easy they are to use. Let's have that conversation. I always love interacting with you guys, and until next time, stay blessed, and maybe we'll take all these to the range and shoot them just to prove a point. Let's go.